Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another brand new episode. Today's features Hubb and the Heavy Hearts. Had a great time linking up with them at Caleb's house, talking about what they've been up to, and we share a couple live takes from the studio, from their home studio there, and so get to hear some of what their music until we get the album ready. But had a lot of fun with this one, and I hope you dig it. Be sure to get plugged in with them on your socials on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler, located here in St. Louis, Missouri, over in the Maplewood area. You can stop in and visit them or shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. You can stop in and get some of their beard oils, beard balms. They got their world famous Roughneck Beard Batter back in stock, and or you can try one of their brand new products, their Roughneck Light. Finally, a lightweight beard oil that won't weigh you down in the hot summer months. Roughneck Light is formulated to have all the same benefits as our signature line with only half the weight, and it's got a cool, refreshing scent as well. Grab a bottle today of Roughneck Light at roughneckbeardcompany.com. Use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off your purchase, and that includes all your favorite beard and mustache products over there. So check it all out again, roughneckbeardcompany.com. And big thank you to my friends at Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri, for their continued support, serving up all your craft beer needs, over 25 rotating taps over there, and all kinds of delicious foods and burgers and nachos and flatbread pizzas and pretzels and whatever you might need to complement that beer. And we have some great live music coming up on the weekends, and you can see First Things First out there on Friday, September 16th. And Steve Kyle on September 17th, Saturday night. And on Sunday, September 18th, Jeff Waltshauser will be out there. You can find their full menu of food, beer, and concert calendar and everything else at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. And be sure to get plugged in with them on your Facebook and Instagram. And tell them Shane sent you. All right, that is it for me, everybody. If you need me, of course, you can always find me at rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Email me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you all. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode with Hubb and the Heavy Hearts.
The podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, this is Hubb and the Heavy Hearts. You're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
coming out. And I'm just worried you'll leave me far too soon. No matter where I go, you always be there, always be there by my side. No matter where I go, you always be there, always be there by my side. 17 years now, you've been with me. Your eyes are cloudy, it's almost over now. I couldn't ask no more from this old girl. Now she's gone away, I got to stay. No matter where I go, you always be there, always be there by my side. No matter where I go, you always be there, always be there by my side, by my side, by my side.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another brand new episode. Today, I am hanging out with Hubb and the Heavy Hearts.
Hello.
Howdy.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. I'm known Caleb. I don't know. We've known each other a while now.
Yeah, Facebook, and I bought a shirt off you.
Yeah,
or, no,
a
a hat.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I
right onto the driveway.
when I was driving over, everything like kind of started coming back to me. I was like, oh yeah, I've been over here. So, but we never really like had a full proper conversation. So that's what's kind of fun about this show is I having this opportunity where I can sit down and actually get to talk to you guys and learn about the band and the music we're making and stuff. And so I guess before we get going too far, let's go around the mics and you guys introduce yourselves for those listening.
I'm Caleb Hubbartt, the Hubb of the Hubb and the Heavy Hearts. I'm guitar and vocals.
Yep. You go.
I'm Taryn Duncan. I play bass.
I'm Mike Cortina, and I play the drums.
All right. And we're missing.
We're missing a couple guys. Yeah, we got a couple more hearts out there somewhere. Charlie Brown is on keys with us now.
Yes,
and-
Charlie Brown.
Oh, yeah, that's his real name too.
Yep.
You know Charlie?
Yep.
Yeah. He's kind of a St. Louis legend.
Yeah, I mean, I just probably know more of him. Not.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever officially properly met, but I've definitely seen him play.
Yeah. I was hoping he could be here, but he picked up a gig tonight.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. And then we got Brian Foote on trumpet as well.
Nice.
And those are the other heavy hearts that we.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I kind of like to start at the early days and kind of how this came to be. I kind of like to start with St. Louis because that's where we're at. And has St. Louis always been home, or what's the story like for Hubb and the Heavy Hearts?
For Hubb and the Heavy Hearts, it's been the home.
Yeah.
It's always been its home. And I grew up in this area, and then I lived in Austin for about 8 years, and then I came back. And after I came back, that's when I started singing and playing a lot more and writing songs and stuff. So that's when I said, well, I'm going to get a band together, find some badasses and get everybody in the room.
So you weren't playing in Austin at all?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Austin was my university.
Yeah.
I went there specifically to play a lot of music, and I did. And, I came back with a little more fire underneath me or something,
Yeah, I mean, I've never been myself, but obviously it's very well documented that Austin's a real hotbed for for live entertainment down there, and so it would be fun to be just to compare and contrast like Austin to St. Louis, and I mean I feel like they get a lot of credit and on Nashville too, but I feel like St. Louis is like right there, man. I might be biased, but I feel like we have tons of incredible talent and a lot of really fantastic venues around the area, and just like a lot of opportunities to play, and we're just a little spread out, but across the the city and the county and St. Charles County, and but it's like I feel like as a community as a whole, St. Louis is a really
I agree,
great scene.
I was amazed when I came back, because I was heavily involved in the music scene before I moved down there too. I played at Mississippi Nights and Pops and all those kind of places, back in the early 2000s, and then got into the cover scene, when I got a little older, and then before I moved down there, then I came back and I was like, I can't believe the amount of clubs that St. Louis has now, whereas before it was a little more slim pickings.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember. I don't know how to name the numbers or anything, but I read like something like that St. Louis had more music venues per capita than like any other city or something like that. If you
took the metro or just downtown.
I don't know. I guess including county and stuff or something, but I don't know if that's still accurate today. But I mean, I would say it's probably got to be pretty close. Right. We do have a lot of spots around, and we're not for a smaller city. We're not. We're not the numbers of like a Chicago or whatever. So
population wise,
right? So I'm saying like per capita, I think like we have there's a ton of venues and opportunities around town. So, but yeah, I don't know. So let's. So you said even before you left in Austin and stuff, like, so where did it all start? What was the first time you like? Was it your parents introduced you to it and you picked up a guitar and started playing, or what was where did all the let's go all the way back to the beginning.
All the way back?
Yeah.
So back to the beginning, it's in my family. My uncle, or my grandpa, was a upright jazz player in St. Louis back in the 40s and stuff. So it's in my blood. And then about 12 years old, I started wanting to play guitar, and I was listening to metal music at that time.
Yeah.
So like just the meanest, Deicide and Cannibal Corpse, and and I wanted to play metal. And I realized pretty quickly that that's hard to do, especially for a beginner, to play metal music. So I had to start with the same things all guitar players do. Hendrix and all the riffs and everything else that And then I discovered the blues. I discovered Stevie Ray Vaughan, and that sort of changed things for me. It was like, it took me off into and I slowly kind of recircled back to a lot of the music that I grew up listening to with my parents and stuff, like ZZ Top and CCR, and I realized all those guys were just blues artists, it was just all blues,
just cranked up a little bit.
Yeah, just more distortion and a little cranked up.
A little good show going on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, ZZ Top, man, are one of my absolute favorites, and but I mean it's all three chords, it's just
not a lot to it. It's just
like,
attitude.
It's
just attitude.
It's just but some of that I talk about it quite a bit, but Billy's like just the coolest, man. Like that guy, just and Dusty too. I mean, obviously like all those, and Frank. I mean, all three, but Billy, just like, especially being the main voice of the band and everything. But like I remember I saw him in a concert, and it was just a dumb story, but like when Billy's telling it just sounds so much cooler. And it's just like, but they were playing at St. Charles Family Arena, and it wasn't like a big deal. Like it wasn't much stage production, or it was kind of like a quick, like it must have been like a late thing or whatever, because usually they're pretty elaborate.
Yeah, they
when they
bring
play
cars
live.
out and stuff. Yeah,
and this was just like a little like glittery background kind of thing, and like, but they had the fuzzy guitars. They had they had a couple of things that you expected. But anyway, they're playing, and I guess they had the off day in St. Louis, and Billy's telling a story about going to the zoo, and he's just like, there's like, this is Daddy Anteater and this is Mama Anteater. terrible Billy Gibbons impression, but you get the idea.
Right.
And then he's like, and now they got a baby Annie or something, and I was just like, what, it's like,
It sounds way cooler than anyone else could do.
Right. I'm just like, but you're like just, totally invested in the story. Right. And really like, that's all it is, was that like, there was a baby anteater, and I'm just like, but you're just hooked on whatever Billy's saying. But he's just, he's a legend though, for sure.
He owns it too. You know what I mean? He just, and it doesn't really feel like it's fake. You know what I mean? A lot of people, like, where you're like, you see it and you realize it's a character, especially if you're around him a little bit, but with him, I'm pretty sure that's just how he is,
There's a guy I like, also speaking of that, there's a guy does a podcast called The 500. You mentioned off mic that you like albums, and so maybe he's a good plug for you, but there's a show he does, a podcast called The 500 with it's a comedian, Josh Adam Myers, and where he goes through Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums of all time. Really? So each episode is another album on the countdown, and he's been doing it for several years, and he's got to talk to a lot of it's like comedians, like or people that influenced by that record, and or sometimes other people that are connected to that album and things. Right. But with Billy, he actually got to record, or with ZZ Top, I think it was the Eliminator record maybe on that one, but he got to talk to Billy Gibbons and about the record, and I was like, man, that'd be really cool just to sit and pick his brain for an hour talking about the record and things. But so anyway, check it out if you get a chance to listen to that show.
Definitely. And I like that too, because that's a sort of a way to discover things. It's like some of the Rolling Stone 500 albums, I probably wouldn't necessarily be like, I'm going to go listen to that.
That's exactly why he did it, because he knew some that he liked. He knew some of the hits, from people but he didn't know albums, and he didn't know there's a ton of to hear all these things about these greats, but he's like, I don't know who that just. So he did it as a tribute to his friend who was like a huge music fan, and so he's like, I'm going to push myself to learn more about music, and he started deep diving and doing all his homework, and so it's cool. Yeah,
we were also talking how there's just like a ocean of old music that we're all like, being musicians.
Were you saying that most of that music was destroyed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was just forgotten.
It
forgotten.
No longer exists.
Right.
Yeah, old 8 tracks that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Right. Hidden in some basement somewhere in LA.
Yeah.
The Buried Treasure show on it's a what is it? SX or the satellite radio. Tom Petty's Buried Treasure show. That was awesome because he did all B-sides. He didn't do anything that was like radio hits, but it was people Yeah. And I was just that show name, that Buried Treasure, that's like that's what it is. It's like albums, you start off, you dive in, and then you're like, oh, I really like this song.
I feel like that as a fan, like I've kind of always gravitated more to the deep cuts, the B-sides, just sure, the hits are hits for a reason, but like I don't know, the one I personally always found myself more listening to was always the other songs on the album. So
the slow song that nobody would put on the radio, or
Sleepers.
or the 8-minute jam.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
But
long jams are my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a little bit of that. Yeah.
So obviously heavily influenced by your family. You go to Austin. You come back to town. You say, "Hey, I got to put a band together. Mm-hmm. Let's introduce these guys and how Hubb and the Heavy Hearts kind of start forming around this." And I know we skipped a whole lot, but
no, that's pretty much pretty much what it. In that time, I started singing. You know what I mean? Right. I was really just a guitar player for years and years, and then I started singing and writing songs. So that's where the band kind of felt natural. Felt like a natural progression of things. And my buddy Jared, who is also another one of the Heavy Hearts. He plays bass with us at times, and he was playing together with me. We had another drummer, and then we met Mike. And so Mike was really kind of the second guy to come along, where we jammed together and we just kind of looked at each other like, yeah, this feels good. You know?
Yeah.
We just kind of felt right in line.
Been doing it for what, 3 years now?
Yeah, I think so. That's about right. I think we started right when I bought my house here. So
Yeah.
and then we had another bass player, Adam, for a while, and then and Adam, you probably know Adam actually. What's his last name? Adam
Lee St. Clair.
Yeah, St. Clair. Yeah, Adam St. Clair. Yeah. So he was our bass player for a while, and then we picked up Taryn. We actually jammed with Taryn one time with our buddy Gus. You know Gus Page, right? So Taryn played with Gus before that, and then we jammed one time just kind of impromptu. You know, just me, Gus, and
Page Trio
and everybody, and then I could tell right away that these guys clicked. You know what I mean? And if you know music, you know bass players and drummers. They and then but nothing happened at that time, you know. I mean, because it was we had Adam and everything was going there, and then there was kind of a lull with COVID and everything, and then through that we kind of rebuilt a little bit, and then Adam's band was picking up his other projects and starting to tour and stuff. So it was like, called up Taryn. I'm like, hey man, you want to jam?
Yeah.
And here we are.
Very cool. Yeah. So you guys, I guess you said mostly as you're playing out today, you might hear quite a bit of covers. Obviously at the bar scene and stuff. You know, getting the crowds to sing along and dance with you guys and have fun. And but what kind of covers or what's a set list might consist of? Like, is it what would you guys describe as the Heavy Heart sound?
I would say rock and soul. You know? It's really kind of just that's the two words that sum it up the best. Rock and soul. You know, I try to do deep cuts. Right. I try not to do a lot of your typical cover band type set lists. You know, it seems like a lot of cover bands want to play the same songs, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I just want to do.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah,
right.
I like to keep it fresh and throw in our own style. You know, some people might not like it a lot, but you know, for most part, they do, and that's what matters. And many people don't, and that's because they're haters.
We take
liberties.
I guess. You know what I mean.
But with a lot of respect for the music. You know, we're standing on shoulders of giants and shit. You know?
Well, I think I think that's helped set you guys apart. I mean, obviously, you know, there's a right time and place for all of it. You know, where you got your top 40, your classic rock cover. You know, where you got where they do it and they do what they do and they do well. Like you know, like. But it's nice sometimes to walk in and hear something, like I said, completely you wouldn't expect. I haven't heard this song in 20 years or whatever. You know, something like that. It's like, and those are, I love that stuff. You know, it's just
like Stranger Things, for example, bringing back all of the 80s songs.
Yeah, it's like songs that you like, you don't probably know this song, but you're probably going to like it.
Right. Well, it was a hit. It was a hit back in those years for a reason, you know?
Right.
I'm with you guys. I'm like I said, it's fun to, or sometimes I also like when, you know, like you guys saying, taking some liberties and like when a band like will start playing a song and, you know, the groove's there, you're like, oh, well, wait a second, I know this. And like all of a sudden then like, then it'll get to that chorus or something, it kicks in, you're like, oh shit,
this is cool. I know this song.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, so sometimes I enjoy when you do like a little of a fresh take on it to where it's like you mix it up enough to where it's not exactly a spot on cover kind of thing. So
I call it the Joe Cocker method.
Sure.
Because like think about how many people thought Joe Cocker wrote all those songs. No, I mean Feeling Alright was Traffic, I think it was, right?
Little Help from My Friends was the Beatles.
Right, exactly. Like all these songs that he made hugely popular.
He made them his, you know.
Right.
Like, it's interesting.
The Joe Cocker method for sure.
The mark.
He man, what a powerhouse, man. That guy. All that locally we have one of my absolute favorites, Al Holiday and the East Side Rhythm Band. And he's just a freight train of soul, and he just
got that voice.
but he does one night down at at Off Broadway. They did a Mad Dogs and Englishmen tribute.
Oh, nice.
And he did some Joe Cocker stuff in there and some Leon Russell stuff in there.
Nice.
And it was just such a cool night, man. It was like, and he's like, that's what he did. I mean, obviously, that's what he plays keys. So
right.
those are like some of his biggest influences. Those
Leon, right? Yeah,
that's cool, man.
But yeah, and when I feel like, I mean, not that you want to be, that sometimes that close, but like, man, when he was doing those Joe Cocker covers, I was like, he's just like spot on, like
yeah.
And he's got like the same kind of swaying when he's playing and stuff in there too, and it's just like, and he nails it. But
it's kind of like a method actor. Same thing. You gotta get into that spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm there's some of those guys like of course like a Joe Cocker and stuff. I wish I could have experienced live, seen them live, but there's a lot of them I missed. But
yep. Yeah, Leon Russell is one of my favorites too. Concert for Bangladesh. Have you seen that? It's the George Harrison one. And if you haven't never seen that, that's a good thing to check out.
I did get to see Leon live. My dad's a big fan. And,
nice.
And we went, long time ago. But he played at the Harrah's Voodoo Lounge.
Really?
So that was cool to see him in there. And at this point he was, he'd been doing it a long time.
Had the big old white hair, the mane.
But he didn't do nothing flashy. He played a great set. He stood up and waved at the end of the night, sat back down, played one more, and that was his encore. Like,
really?
I mean, that's like the first steps of entertainment. That's what it is to perform for an audience. Just you, your instrument, and spotlight.
Right.
Did he do a lot of improv stuff, or no? I mean, did he kind of stick to his songs?
Yeah, I mean, they just
that was his vibe back in the day.
It was a pretty tight set. Like it wasn't a lot of like what interaction with the crowd or whatever. Really? Just like hit after hit and and
like a pro.
He did take a little intermission where he left the stage and like let his band play, and which I got introduced to his lead guitar player and maybe band leader at the time, Chris Simmons, who I turned out to really like his solo stuff too. So it was a cool introduction to like, hey, here's his stuff too. So I thought that was kind of a classy move too, to like, hey, lift up his band along with his music. So that's
kind of how I was with JJ Grey. I discovered Greyhounds.
Oh yeah,
through JJ Grey, and I was like his support band is more awesome than he is, and I'm a huge JJ Grey fan. So.
Yeah, those guys.
And they're Austin, Texas guys. So Andrew
and Anthony.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
I saw them. I've seen them a couple times, but with JJ, and then I got to hang with them a little bit at when they opened up for Gary Clark Jr. at the Fox, and that was cool. Like they were out there, shaking hands and stuff.
Yeah,
and that was a fun night.
Yeah, they're talented dudes. That's a band that really just has their very unique sound, And they got a song called St. Louis, so that's pretty cool too,
Yeah. So you guys doing a lot of the cover stuff, but we are wanting to move towards putting out some originals and maybe even a record soon.
Yeah, we're looking at an EP. We're looking at an EP. It's probably a few originals and maybe a couple choice covers, because we do some covers that like people probably would think we wrote, because nobody probably ever heard of them, So
well, you were telling me we have a live recording that we want to share in a song called Red Line.
That's right. Yeah,
might be one of those originals that makes the cut.
I think so. It's a cool tune. It's about the devil. So it's a devil or a serial killer. Yeah, it's kind of like you could kind of take it either way.
Right.
But
we played it tonight and it sounded pretty good.
Yeah, it was probably
it was different because we were recording it for this podcast.
Yeah.
Looking for a soul to take. before I swallow the world. Before I swallow the world.
Yeah, we we're still exploring the song. It's relatively new. I think I only wrote this song about 2 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Writing is weird for me. They just sort of pop out. You know what I mean? I'll go
Like a baby when it's ready.
Yeah, it's like, there it is.
Yeah.
And the good ones come right out, right? You know what I mean? The other ones, they're halfway out, and then you gotta, massage it or whatever. But this one just came all out, and I was like, wow, this is a pretty cool tune, and it's a very moody, kind of reminds you of somebody stalking through the forest at night, It's
Yeah.
I heard a great interview once with Neil Young. I think he was actually on like Stern Show talking about, but kind of along that same thing, like you're saying, sometimes they just come out of you, and like he was telling this wild story about having like this fever and laid up in this hospital bed for a while and requested a notepad and just started writing, and like had no idea what he was even writing apparently, and like afterwards, like he analyzed what he like wrote, and like out of that like came like Cinnamon Girl and like all these all these hits, and it's like it's just, it's like this guy's like it's just wild to think like when the inspiration hits you, just like all you're doing is trying to keep up sometimes, and like
right, it finds you when you're working.
Yeah.
I try to take a lot of notes, because I like words and I like turns of phrases and little things, and like Redline popped in my head, or I was watching something or on TV or something, and I was just like, Redline, that's cool, and then something came out.
Yeah.
So I find that for a songwriter, collect those things. I'd use Evernote. I just put everything in there. If I like a single word,
you never know what's gonna stick.
Right.
Yeah. And then that's when also whenever it's all coming out, just make sure you just keep doing it. You could get it all out, because if you go back to it, it might be different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. So when you have the idea of Redline, you just start plucking away on an acoustic, or is that how you start kind of forming these the arrangement and stuff on it? Or?
Generally, most of the time I'm writing on an acoustic.
Yeah.
Unless it's maybe a jam.
Right.
There's a couple different ways things come out, where it's like sometimes it'll be like a jam, and then it'll be the full band, and then I'm like, all right, well, I gotta come up with something for that.
Yeah. It's a very organic procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know if this one you wrote and then presented to the band, or if it started as the jam, or how.
This particular one, was just me and an acoustic guitar, and I came up with it, and it was one of those where I instantly started hearing everything. I'm like, well, this needs like an upright bass, and
sometimes we come up with like things as a collective, and this is good, we should keep it,
Right. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff I write, it's not really, it's more acoustic folky,
But
so
we do like to jam a lot too.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
It's always.
That's kind of, we like to stretch the boundaries, and just see what comes out.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff on our SoundCloud actually that is just
experiments.
It's really just, we came in with no ideas. We just started playing, and I mean, there's hours of this.
Right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's just an
and sometimes
experiment.
it's amazing that how it comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I often like kind of wish I would know, when maybe knew more about it. We actually like went to school. I mean, not that it's ever like too late or anything, but I wish kind of more of a producer role, like, because like you're saying, sometimes you hear these and like I want some of this, some of that, and like, and people have often like, sent me early like demos or just acoustic versions, and like, and that's kind of where my brain will sometimes start working, like, hey, this could be cool if we do this here, just whatever. I just started throwing out ideas. I'm like, I don't know that they're any good. But I have ideas.
Yeah.
And like same kind of thing too. I'll start like even building like music video idea or what, visuals to go with it,
Right.
different stuff. And like, it's just like, but that's the way my music makes my brain to start working, like, just like wheels start spinning and things, so, I just kind of wish, like I said, I maybe would have pursued it more, earlier on instead of not as much as I try to do. I mean, not that I'm like producing music or anything, but but like just as a fan, like I'm trying to do my part to lift as many people up as I can. And, but I would kind of just wish like maybe I would have had this calling when I was in high school and I could have jumped on that path, then. So
I think
It's never too late.
yeah, sure.
I mean, just right timing
Yeah.
comes when it's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So whatever.
Right.
It's never too late to learn anything nowadays,
Well, even from, like you said, from like a producer or recording aspect, because that is, I got a lot of stuff downstairs and I could produce something that sounds pretty good, and then have it mixed by somebody else. But there's something about going in to a studio and having that person sort of bounce ideas off you, let you know, hey, you're a little out of key here, all that stuff that
I don't know any of that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you like what to do. I just like start, come up with things, but like, I don't know enough music knowledge to tell you like, this is this key or like the chord, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I know enough to like, bullshit my way through something to talk to you guys about it. But like,
there's a lot of producers. Like
sometimes
that
it's more about, like structure or like just being like, hey, I don't know what's wrong.
We were
Something
just
doesn't
saying,
sound right. You know
sometimes
what I mean?
all you need is 3 notes, right? So you just put them however it works best. You put a cool beat behind, and there you go. Yeah. You're the next Kanye.
That's right.
Whatever.
Yeah, these days it's crazy. I cannot do it. I cannot sit down with a computer and make a song. You know what I mean? That doesn't ever feel natural to me. I feel way more natural playing it or playing it with my friends and producing something. There's like a magic in that that you just, for me, it's real hard to do that in a computer with some keyboards clacking.
Right.
I wish I could, because that would be like a good skill set to have. I could probably make some money with that, but
well, you let's see, you got your Facebook, you said SoundCloud also.
We got some SoundCloud,
but you can get plugged in with Hubb and the Heavy Hearts online, and hopefully coming to a town near you soon, and come play some music for you, and come out and see him live and holler out request at him and stuff, and all kinds of things.
Our favorite way to get requests is on the back of $100 bill.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Yeah,
you can do Venmo and put a little comment.
There you go. Yeah,
people just aren't biting on the Venmo. I've been trying to put that.
We gotta do like scan this thing,
big finger,
like a big arrow.
Well, I was kind of thinking of I got some questions for you guys, and I was thinking about a new one. Okay. And get your so I was thinking first, last, and next as far as your concerts. What was your first live concert, your last live concert, and your next one? What's
okay?
What do you?
That's a cool question. I like that. My first one, this is going to be embarrassing. I can't believe I'm going to say this on record, but it was New Kids on the Block.
Hell yeah.
I was like 7 years old or I don't know, whatever I was.
And that got you right into metal music, huh?
Yeah. That's the natural progression.
That's what it had. The long hair did it. Yeah.
I think it was like my older cousin was into it, and I just was like, as a kid. But I think I redeemed myself after that with, I think Tom Petty was my next one after that.
There you go.
So,
all right.
But my last concert, what was my last concert? I think it was Ray LaMontagne.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I am too. It wasn't a superb show though. I mean, like, it was good. It was Ray, you know what I mean? But he didn't really play a lot of his hits, which you kind of want to hear some of that. He played a lot of his new album, which is good. I like that album a lot,
I kind of had a moment like that. I saw, mentioning Petty, I saw Black Crowes open for Petty. And at that point, I was maybe like 05 or something, whatever. And, they've been gone for a while. So like, but when you expected to hear something, Remedy, Hard to Handle, Talk to Angels, something that you recognize, but I don't recall them playing like anything that I
They
knew.
get tired of playing the same stuff.
Yeah,
over and over,
and I get
you
it,
know.
but
Like if it's not like a big stadium, they're not gonna play.
sure. But I mean, you think you'd at least for the fans, you'd give them something like that, for that era fan. I mean, I'm sure there's other people in the crowd that were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they played this one because it was a deep cut or whatever." Same kind of thing. But you think you'd want to appease all the people in the crowd, like play something.
Yeah, like I'm totally cool with just a couple of them. Because I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Sure.
You get tired of songs. You get tired of playing the same songs over and over again. But yeah, I was just like, man, you didn't do any of them.
Yeah, sure.
It's cool.
What about next? What do you what's
nothing really like on the
nothing on the calendar
in the
yet?
horizon.
Oh, Corey Wong.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
You
go.
gotta
there, aren't we?
go see them.
But I think like
That's like February.
Is it like Victor Wooden, Corey
Victor
Wong?
Wooden, Corey, that's
And-
gonna be a cool show.
There's a lot of good musicians from St. Louis.
Yeah.
They're just like
But I've made the decision that I need to go see a show at Red Rocks. I haven't.
Oh yeah, let's go together. I got to go too.
Have you gone yet? Have you?
Never been.
oh,
Yeah.
let's all go. I want to go to Colorado.
I'm down, man. I'm down. I'm with some plans like that, I found that I just have to do it. You know what I mean? You just got to do it.
Incubus just played Colorado.
Yeah.
I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'd love to see Tedeschi trucks out there.
Yeah.
I've never seen them, so that's like one of my that's if I say that's my next concert. That's the
Oh,
next
by the
concert I want to
way,
go to.
my operations manager at work said he was looking at the Instagram and he found one of our videos that I posted. It was one of the songs that we were playing, and his wife was listening to it, and she went like, "Oh, are those Tedeschi truck band?" And then I was like, "Well, she's got first of all very good music taste,
Right? Yeah.
And thank you for mistaking us for such a good band."
I'm nowhere near as talented of a guitar player.
No, but we sound good, and that's what
Well, it's definitely an influence. Yeah,
we
Those
invite
guys
people listening to come.
Derek Trucks has been an influence for years. But
Yeah. There was one that I like still hangs in the back of my mind. I kick myself for not making it happen. It just would have been difficult, getting to Colorado, getting finding a place to stay and all of it, just would.
it's expensive out there too. Yeah,
but it was JJ Gray Mofro with Michael Franti and Spearhead, and I'm like two of my absolute favorites, and I'm like, just would have been an incredible night of music, and seeing them both together like that, and then I often think about too, because like I saw that Michael Franti was doing yoga on the rocks like in the morning, and I'm like, how cool would that be, just like to be hanging out there doing. I don't do yoga, but I would with Michael Franti,
fake it.
Yeah, so
Get the down dog going.
yeah. But I was just like, man, I wish I would have been there that day. That would have been a good night. So
Yep. There's always a one that got away, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Me, it's Pantera.
Yeah.
I had a chance to go see Pantera when I was younger, and I for some reason I can't remember, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I never got to see them because
Right.
they started dying.
I do. I don't know. The reunion thing kind of sounds like it could be cool. I'm like, obviously not the same, but seeing Zach Wilde play Pantera songs could be pretty cool. Like
Right.
so. We'll see. Hopefully that goes well.
He's probably like the only guy that I would be okay with it because him and Dime are real tight. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay.
His work with Ozzy was really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a tremendous guitar player.
So, all right. How about you guys? What about what's your first?
I'll go first because I gotta leave soon. But my first concert was this. There was a Irish jig kind of like metal band from Spain called Wizard of Oz, and that was my first big concert. I got lost, couldn't find my friends. It was like a long ass concert.
How old were you?
I was about 17 or 18 years old. And it was my first big experience to a concert, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this again."
Yeah.
What was the last one? I don't know. It was. I'm like a big jazz fan, so I think I saw Joshua Redman or Pedrito Martinez at the jazz club downtown.
Yeah.
So that's a really good spot to hit,
yeah.
you know. And the next one is like this. I don't know if you listen to Odessa. It's like a electronic group.
Yeah, I know a little bit about them.
They're gonna be playing on, soon. So
Yeah.
I think that's the next one. So yeah,
That'd be cool.
I really can't even think of them. I know that when I was not even born, my mom took me to a Metallica concert.
Oh yeah.
In the womb.
That was probably the first technical one, but
that's when all the
before that, I don't really know. I know I saw a Lamb of God concert at the pageant, like real early, like probably about 17, 18, or something like that.
It's a great band. My brother
was-
loved Lamka.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember who all was there. I know As I Lay Dying and Children of Bodom was there,
At Riverport?
and a couple of it's at the pageant.
Oh, the pageant.
Yeah. I forget. It was some kind of like something fest or something like that, but
It was nothing like a metal show when you're young.
it was pretty good. I love Lamb of God. I still do some of the old Lamb of God. It still sounds great too. But
All the
I
teenage
miss the old
anger.
drummer Chris Adler. He was madman.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I mean, I think going to like Ozfest in high school and a couple of
Good
like
one.
those kind of things, like and it's I remember some of my early just concert experience, people smoking weed and girls girls showing their titties and everything else,
It
whatever.
used to be wild.
Best part.
Whatever would happen at a Riverport, in the 90s and stuff. And,
We went to,
90s
like,
were wild.
yeah.
Point Fest. I don't know what it was. It was like there was No Doubt, and so it was definitely like the Sky era,
Limp Bizkit was
And we were
big trouble.
We were like 13, 12, and my mom worked at the Burger King in there, and so she got us all in, and so it's 3 like 13-year-old boys just running wild throughout Riverport all day. I saw titties. I didn't crowd surf because I've always been a big man, but my buddy did, and mosh pits.
Right.
It was just like, this is awesome. And
Yeah.
then later on, you're sleeping.
Right.
Passed out.
Good times.
Yeah.
Lots of concerts at Riverport, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. All right. What would be a fictional band you guys would love to see live? Is there a certain band from TV or movies or anything that come to mind, like you were like that you always gravitated towards?
Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big influence on me, man. Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that band,
What was that? What was, I don't know. I know the name, but
Oh, the hit?
yeah,
Dark Side?
Yeah, Dark. There you go. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, yeah.
It was like a kind of Bruce Springsteen kind of
Yeah, very much so.
knockoff thing, right? Like
They always had just a great alto sax player,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And or like tenor, that honks.
Right.
The honks. And I actually like the second one better too. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it was like I watched it like when I was learning to play the guitar, right? And there was like a couple of songs in there where I was like kind of figuring out, and it's just one of those like things that just happened to influence me,
sure,
Yeah.
right time, right place, kind of thing.
Right, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fictional band. What about you?
It's not really a fictional band because they actually did play, but the Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
would be great to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Original,
absolutely.
the OG, Dan.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I would agree. I wish we could have that kind of that tour to come through and stuff or something. But yeah, they.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's cool that's the story behind all that. Like those guys were just like swapping records backstage at SNL and stuff, and like talking music all the time, and then all of a sudden like.
It just happened.
Hey, let's start, shining a light on some of these songs that we love, and
Right.
and then all of a sudden, Blues Brothers become a thing. It's like, but yeah, then I mean that's just, such a classic movie. The 2000s are right, not quite the same, but
Right.
It got Johnny Lang in it though, and that was
got
like
the same kind of feel.
still some good tunes. Yeah,
that whole scene where they're wheeling Johnny Lang through. I think they're doing what is it, 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
and that was just like kind of it was another one of those movies that just happened right at the right time.
Yeah.
I was playing guitar. I was really into Johnny Lang, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, those guys, because they were like my age, you know.
Sure.
And I was like, these guys can do it. I can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't really have like that kind of, you know, I mean, I know there's still young guys doing it, but like those guys were kind of like the child prodigies that were like put out there on the main stage, like at 14 years old and stuff, and like getting to jam with BB and everything else, you know. It's like, and it was just like we haven't really had like, you know, obviously you see the kids come on AGT or whatever, you know, these different talent show various things or whatever.
So
you know,
all
so you know
YouTube
that they can play, but it's just like, but those guys were like, you know, superstars at that age and stuff. So
that little girl that played with Dave Grohl on the drums, you know, I guess she would
that's like the closest one, that we had. Like,
and that's viral.
Yeah.
That's viral these days.
But
it's definitely not as impactful because there's more of them, I think, or more access to them.
It's like it kind of like
that's probably is that we have now. It's like not a big deal because we see it every day on YouTube or whatever. So
Thank God for YouTube, though.
Yeah, sure.
I learned most of my drumming because of YouTube.
It's definitely made me better. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I can say I learned with the best.
Yeah, you can slow it down, stop it, pause it.
Yeah. uTorrents.
Yeah. That's somebody said something about that. You mentioned Stranger Things, and somebody was talking about spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, but Eddie's playing Master of Puppets.
Yeah, right.
And somebody did the math, like they figured, so this was spring of '86, and that song,
that's not possible.
Master of Puppets would have came out like 2 weeks before spring break, or something like. So Eddie had to learn Master of Puppets flawlessly, with no internet
ripped
tabs,
a solo.
no YouTube video or anything, but so it was just, I thought that was pretty funny.
Maybe the guy transcribed it, like by ear.
But he
Mozart.
That was a cool scene though. Yeah, that's for sure.
I just thought it was funny. Somebody.
Well, you spoiled it for me because I haven't seen it. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't know where it's at.
It'll still be cool.
It's a really cool moment. Like it's a fun part of the show. Like just and I like that, of course, Metallica being on, like, and then like it's gone on, like, where I don't know if you guys have been following it, but he the guy Joe that got to go to Lollapalooza and got to meet them, and they jammed, they signed the guitar for him. And I was just like, how cool is this, man?
Right. Yeah. I didn't realize when I was watching it that he actually was playing it, until I saw that same clip you're talking about. I was like, wow, because that's, it's not like it's a insanely challenging song, but
sure, but it is. He could have easily faked it, or had somebody else play it, or whatever. But
because in that clip they show him playing it, and I was like, wow.
I hate it when you see a drummer in the movies and they're playing and it doesn't match what you're hearing. So
indeed, it's a big pet peeve.
Yeah, same with any musician or trumpets. You can.
There's a movie I saw. I think what is it called? Like,
Milli Vanilli.
No, it's like Somerset or something like that. But it's like a scene in this movie that's like this piccolo player playing.
Just threw you off. Like
everybody else is playing normal, but this dude's just like shredding on the piccolo. But it's not even anything like that.
I think the piccolo is one of those instruments that like probably anybody could just pick it up and except for a piccolo player, be like, no,
bullshit.
What are you doing?
That's not how you do it.
Yeah.
He's not even holding it right.
I gotta go, but you don't have to stop for me. So that's all right with you guys?
No problem, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, that's
Shaney.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. Podcast.
That's me, man.
Well, thanks.
Well, thank you.
I'll let you go, guys.
Take it easy.
He turns into a pumpkin.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Also in that same lines, I don't know if it triggered a memory, but like I obviously other end of it, but Big Bang Theory, like I always heard that they would always have like whiteboards with like equations and stuff on it, and those were all like legit mathematical equations on, like, so like there was an attention to detail that it wasn't just like These aren't just like random numbers and
Right.
stuff, that they actually were correct. And like, so, because like, you know, obviously they're a science show, but and
Right, as I
like,
say, you're making a show for nerds.
Right,
You're gonna,
so-
they're gonna get in there
but
and look at
you know,
it.
I can imagine like if they were wrong, somebody's like pausing, like, "Hey, wait a second," you know, it's like, so,
X doesn't equal
Yeah.
Y.
I would be
Right.
one of those people
yeah,
That's how it goes.
finding
Yeah.
stuff like that in movies,
right,
Right.
like the flute.
yeah. Somebody pointed out me. It was a meme thing on. It was Power Rangers, and it was that he had a sword that was a
yeah.
flute, and he's like playing it
it
with his
sounded
helmet
like a
on.
saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like a synthesizer or whatever. Like, and he's
I've
playing
seen
and
that
wearing
one
a
too.
helmet. It's like,
Right.
what the hell was going on in there? Like,
And I was just,
Yeah.
I was just totally,
Yeah.
Totally okay.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah, that's-
11-year-old Caleb was cool with it.
that's believable.
Yeah. I think it was the Pink Ranger was
Yeah.
just totally distracted me
Right.
most of the time.
Kimberly.
Can't breathe.
I think
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you're right.
All right. Okay. What about a dream duet or collaboration you guys would like to see for the band? Is there a certain? I mean, we've mentioned a lot of names throughout this show, but is there a certain one that comes to mind that you guys would like love to link up with?
That's a good question. I don't know who that would be. Because you got to kind of like, well, who would vibe, because I would want to say Shania Twain, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't vibe,
It could be cool though.
It could be cool.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch her new doc?
No, I haven't. I've heard somebody else told me that it's pretty good though.
I really liked it. I watched it with my wife, and she's a huge Shania fan, and made me more of a fan. I mean, I didn't realize how much she was involved. I mean, not that I just never knew the process, but
Right.
her and her husband, created those first 3 records together. So she's very.
And those are really good albums.
Oh yeah, and she's broke records that still stand for selling albums, and I mean, she's definitely a badass, and but I just didn't, I just didn't know how involved she was. I just at the time, and so it was cool to see all this video and of her. I'm just damn, she went out and did it. She said she
Right.
set her mind to it and created it and made it happen.
Sometimes when you learn more about an artist too, it helps you, like the Eagles. I was never a humongous Eagles fan. I liked Eagles when the Joe Walsh came along, you know what I mean? Because I like Joe Walsh. But when I watched that documentary, that 4-hour one or whatever they had a while back, I was like, these guys are amazing, and especially the earlier stuff, what they were doing, hanging out with Jackson Brown and learning how to write songs and all this stuff, that sort of just makes you dive in a little more. You're like, all right,
I kind of last summer I was working with these guys, and they must have had that Eagles greatest hits on repeat the entire summer. Ruined me for the Eagles. I just
especially those songs, because you've heard them already.
Sure. Well, and of course, he's trying to sing along to them, and I'm it doesn't help. I just but it's just I don't want to hear these songs.
Right.
I love the Eagles, but there's only so much a guy can take. I need variety. I don't, when you're listening to the same 12 songs on repeat for 2
Right.
months, it's I'm gonna lose it. Get away from me. So it's but
I think that goes with being a music lover,
Yeah.
because we love to discover music.
Sure.
That's what I realized about me is that's like a high for me, is to find a new band that gets me, where I'm just I just keep listening, or even a song, where you just keep listening over and over again. That's one of the best feelings in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And it's harder and harder to do sometimes. It's harder, harder and harder to kind of impress yourself, or be impressed, whatever. So yeah, it's a challenge. You got to keep doing that. Keep, like what you do, discover
Yeah.
music.
Yeah,
dig
man.
in, dive in.
yeah, I'm always chasing that high kind of that comes with
Right.
finding the next great band or song or whatever, or a live show or whatever.
Right.
So these,
I want goosebumps. That's
Yeah,
that's really what I
sure.
want. Is ooh,
yeah, man.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so maybe Shania, but what is there?
Back to the Dream collaboration.
Is there somebody come to mind though?
Man, I mean, we talked about Greyhounds I would love to jam with those guys.
Yeah.
I would just love to jam with them, because I feel like sound wise, we kind of similar, it would be it would gel, I think, So.
Yeah. I think it'd be kind of cool too, like, take them in the studio and have them help you
Right.
build something, produce a song kind of thing for you, like, just get their creative input onto something, and like, hey, here, what do you guys have ideas on this, and like just to see what happens, like,
Right.
so yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, there's definitely a magic in getting good musicians to like be a part of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like it unlocks things, where you're like, oh, it seems so obvious,
Right.
and you're playing it, it's amazing. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would probably be one of my dream collaborations.
You got is there a certain bass player or anybody that comes you want to jam with or something? Or?
I mean, I would always love to play with Victor Wooten,
Yeah.
of course. I'm
Right.
pretty sure most bass players would probably say that.
that guy's a freak, man.
Yeah.
And he seems so nice and like humble about it.
Like a
and-
guru.
Did you watch? There's a video of him, like, actually filmed it here in St. Louis. He was at Old Rock
probably.
House,
Yeah.
and like he has this guitar
His fret.
with a MIDI.
Yeah.
man,
Fret
it's-
tracks.
I don't think I've seen that.
It
yeah.
is
That
like
thing is amazing.
so. He's got it. He's got it. A bass custom built where he can has a MIDI controller on it, and so he can his
Sensor under each fret.
yeah.
Oh, really?
That it's
So he's getting the actual note to a
crazy.
MIDI.
Yeah, and then he has, his volume knobs and stuff over here. Like he has them where he sensitivity and stuff, so he can, change up the tone. And it's like, so literally, like,
Not only that, the crazy thing is that each one of his frets have a sensor there.
Yeah.
Right.
So with those sensors it being MIDI controllers, he's able to hit this button and then hit a fret. And that's how he changes
Yeah.
his sounds.
Oh,
His
gotcha.
presets.
Right, right.
He just hits a certain fret, and then he's like, "Oh, there's a synth," and then
Right.
here's a horn. Like
That's making my tech brain go crazy. I
Oh,
don't
it's
know how to do
me too. When I saw it, I was about to shoot myself.
yeah. I mean, and of course, you can get like anything on MIDI now. So it's like,
Yeah.
its possibilities are endless with this
Yep.
thing now. It's like he could whatever he needs whatever sound he needs, he can put it on bass, and he can
And
just
it's in
put,
the Fodera too.
Well, and he's got the chops and the creativity
Yeah.
too to like, not just make that be noise. 'Cause
Right.
A lot of times that's the challenge with all those toys is that a lot of times
It's overwhelming.
it's just noise. You're like, this is cool. I'm gonna put layers on it, layers on it, layers on it, and then it's just like, it's kind of nasty.
yeah. But it was, I'll send you a link. It's pretty,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild to watch.
Yeah,
Watch that.
Yeah. It's a cool video.
But
He was a guy I got into a lot when I was younger. Yeah.
yeah, so he's coming to, he's doing a show, I think in October at Old Rock House, some kind of bass show. Like it's within
Just him, or basically.
Yeah, he's headlining, but there's another guy, I can't think of, but then he's coming with Corey at the pageant.
The bassist dreams or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Him and Steve Bailey.
Something like that, yeah.
That's cool.
And then
The Corey Wong show will be
yeah.
real cool to see because
Didn't
I
know
haven't
that
seen
was
him
going
yet, and it seems like they put on a good show.
I'm always back behind on all the concerts.
Yeah.
And miss them all.
I know I try to follow everybody. You're definitely a good follow for getting what's going on in the city.
try to be, try to help out and be supportive.
But yeah, I still miss stuff like Bonnie Raitt.
Sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
Bonnie Raitt was here.
Yeah.
I think I had a show that night anyway, so it was for none anyway. But
Well, guys, this has been a ton of fun. I'm really
Definitely.
glad we got to do this and hang and talk a lot of music. But hopefully we can do this again real soon with some proper recordings. Like I said, maybe that EP, get that cleaned up and come back and share some songs with us. And but I'm excited to hear, like that you guys are looking to take this to the studio and take it the next step. So
yes, sir.
I'm excited to hear what's next for Hubb and the Heavy Hearts. And
Me
again,
too.
so you, like I said, we got, hopefully we'll get some more dates on the calendar here real soon and be active there. And people can get plugged in, like I said, is Facebook best place to find those dates? Is that usually?
Yeah, Facebook usually is I always do events for shows upcoming. And then there's videos on YouTube. We got our SoundCloud. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to keep in touch with us, though. Instagram, of course.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, this has been a fun night. I'm glad we did this. So.
Me too. It's finally good to finally sit down and chat.
Yeah, definitely.
I know we had a lot in common, so.
Yeah. It's been long overdue. So, but I appreciate you guys taking some time, and like I said, hopefully we'll do it here real soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
No doubt.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.